Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a little bit different update this time. My last one was April 16th, and there's been a lot of stuff that's going on since then. On April 29th, I started 5 treatments of radiation on my left scapula, a lymph node behind the scapula, and my right lowest rib. They did 3 spots all at one time. Then starting on May 24th, I started something called Padcev, which was chemotherapy, because unfortunately the Signatera blood test come back and my numbers kept going up. So I started with that on May 24th. Then just before that, on May 20th, I started treatments for radiation on my right hip. That was 5 days in a row for that one then too. In between all that, I also had a CT scan, a CT PET scan, a full body bone scan, and an MRI because thought they saw something in my foot, but there wasn't anything there. So then I started radiation treatments because of things they saw on the bone scan. On July 1st, I had 10 treatments that was on both thighs, about 8-10 inches above the kneecap down to about 6 inches below the kneecap. So they had 10 treatments for that. But with all the Padcev going on, the chemotherapy, the Keytruda, the immunotherapy, all the scans, they were giving me a Celebrex generic for the pain, and then also I've been on Xarelto, which is a blood thinner, and so my blood got real thin. And so what ended up happening was the vessels in my bladder, which my bladder is actually in good shape other than this, the vessels in my bladder were leaking blood. They were just kind of seeping blood because my blood was getting thinner and thinner from all the radiation treatments and all the chemicals and the blood thinners and everything. And so lo and behold, my bladder completely fills up with blood, and I end up in the emergency room. When was that? That was on July 10th. And they had to do something that was a real fun thing called a constant bladder irrigation. So they gave me a catheter, and then they had 3-liter bags of saline that they ran through my bladder in order to flush everything out, because it was completely impacted. And I ended up in the ER that day, and they put me in overnight, and then I was released the next night. But that was a real fun experience, because one of the things that happened was one of my doctors came in, and he had to do the best way I can explain it is a power wash. And he basically took a syringe with saline and forced it in and out of my bladder in order to get any blood clots that were in there that weren't just going to get flushed out, because the other ones were everything was being flushed out just because of gravity. I went through 33-liter bags, and if you know what a 2-liter container of soda looks like, this is 50% bigger. So I went through 3 of those. And so that was a real fun experience to get that done. Because of the weakness of the blood vessels, the doctor thought it would be best if I started hyperbaric oxygen treatment. I know some of you have posted on Facebook, oh, congratulations, but I don't know if a lot of you know what that was. Basically what hyperbaric oxygen treatments do is it forces oxygen into other than if you just put an oxygen mask on, you'll get oxygen in your red blood cells. But if you are under pressure in the chamber, then it will force it into the plasma part of your blood cells. It forces it in your cells. It makes your body make new blood vessels. And so they were in hopes of fortifying those blood vessels that I have in the bladder, and then also, from that, then hopefully that will increase, because it's been since the middle of 2021 since they've actually done the radiation treatment directly on my bladder, and so it's healing and it looks good, but it's just not healing well enough. So I started that on July 29th. That was 30 treatments, and there was a couple of hiccups at the start. I have tubes in my ears now because of the pressure, just with all the other things going on. Who knows what caused that. So that's all the bad news. So July and August pretty much sucked, but I'm getting through it as far as that goes. On August 27th, I had another PET CT scan, and that one came back very, very good. The areas that they had possible concerns on were just small areas, were reduced or gone. And then the Signatera test I taste for my blood work, they had done one, and where I was as high as 170 before they started me on the chemo, I have dropped down to 0.95. And then they just tested me again a couple weeks ago, right in the middle of the hyperbaric oxygen treatments, and I was down to 0.61. So everything is actually looking pretty good right now, and that's about the best I can ask for. I'm going to stay on Padcev for another 3 or 4 treatments. We're doing that every other week, so week on, a week off, week on, week off, because it's pretty harsh stuff, and I've had some reactions to it that I just haven't included in here just because it's just a lot of fun. One of the things that's real fun is I hiccup at untoned moments, so hasn't happened this time. So that's what I've got going on. I hope you guys like this format. If you like it, let me know. If you say, hey, no, we'd rather have an email, let me know. Thanks, man.